Hi, it's Ben here at Glide. We're just putting together a short video guide to show you how to use the raise bill functionality within Glide. This would of course be relevant to those Glide Time users that are looking to create their invoices within Glide Time. So we would go to a client card like the one I'm on here, the client card for Plug Limited, though worth noting that exactly the same process we follow in this video can also be triggered from a job card. The only difference there would of course be that the time you're looking at would be the time in work in progress for that particular job only. Whereas by going to a client card, we're going to see the time in work in progress for that client, regardless of which job or category of time it may be for. So on the client card, we're going to see a button here that says Raise Bill, and we're just going to click on that, and that will bring up a kind of billing dialog that will have a list of the work in progress entries. Now, first thing to point out, we're on the client Plug Limited, but we also here have Mr. Jack Brabham. That's because he is a linked client. This is handy where potentially you might be invoicing a company but charging for directors' tax returns, those sorts of things, all on the same bill. In order to get these clients to appear, all you need to do is go onto your client card links and you can create the links there, and the links time will then appear. So when we raise the bill, what we'll see is we have a title for the bill. This is just a kind of snippet of text that kind of gives you a nice easy way to refer to the bill. It's not actually kind of visible on the bill. And we have room here for an invoice number. So I might just put invoice number 1. The date will default to today, and the VAT rate is going to default to the current rate, so 20% there. Different ways to raise a bill. If, for example, you have largely two kind of mindsets you might be in when raising a bill. The first one is where you are billing largely based on the time that you've incurred. So perhaps you're charging per the hour, or at least you're going to use this timesheet information to decide how much to bill. What you want to do there to include an entry on the bill is you want to tick the item using this left-hand side tick box. That's going to put the entry onto the bill, and the kind of calculated bill total is going to start adding up here. So I have a single entry of £33.75. I've ticked it, so my bill is £33.75. The impact of actually kind of ticking an item and including it on a bill is that once it's been billed, once the bill has been generated, that item will no longer be in work in progress. So you've essentially kind of written it off against this bill. A couple of variations on what you can do there. You'll see that this time entry is 45 minutes. Now, suppose there's a scenario where you wish to charge for part of your time entry, but actually you want to carry the remainder of that time entry forward in work in progress. What you would do there, we actually facilitate that by changing the number of minutes. So if I was to change this to 20, we would see that £15 worth of time is going to be included on the bill. Provisional bill total down here is £15. It means the other 25 minutes worth of time would remain in work in progress. I'll leave that, just how that is, such that we can come back in a moment and look at the 25 minutes remaining there. There's two more things going on every single row here, so let's look at each of those. First of all, you have a button here below the write-off, and if you tick that, then no value will be ascribed to that kind of timesheet line, but it will still be written off. So it's still being linked to this bill. So it will affect the recovery percentage of this bill, but it does not contribute any value here. So let's undo that. The other one is this set value box. Because I just ticked that and unticked it, it's kind of carrying the £15 value. But suppose this timesheet entry, or at least the 20 minutes of it that I wish to bill, are charged at £15. But suppose I've perhaps agreed a lower or a higher fee. I can go through all of my set value boxes here, and I can change those values, and that's going to change what's appearing in the provisional bill total down here. Of course, £30 for £15 worth of time, that's going to have that line of time will have a recovery percentage of 200%. So, of course, there's lots of reports within Glide to look at the recovery percentages for jobs, for clients, for staff. So, it does matter where you are allocating this time. If I backspace over that, then we're just back to the normal position whereby this row of time was ticked. So you can of course repeat that for all of your lines of time. One thing we don't have in my example is an expense item. I should have perhaps added one of those in, but they too can be included on a bill or written off, and they can be included at any value using the set value box. So you could of course gradually build up your bill by ticking various lines, and in order to get the bill total how you want it, you can either do the line by line approach there, or perhaps better if you've got a lot of lines, is you can use the fixed bill total. So supposing you've got £150 worth of time here, supposing this bill was actually worth £200, rather than going through and deciding whereabouts you need to increase or decrease timelines, you can simply type 200 in here, and that will look at the entries that you are expensive with this bill, and it will kind of allocate those on a pro-rata basis to uplift each or decrease each time entry accordingly. Now, if you had typed in some set values, typing in a fixed bill will override them. It's one or the other. So, bear that in mind. I'll just backspace over that. So that's kind of mindset one. Now, second way of looking at this is perhaps you're simply working on an agreed fee. You know exactly what it is, and the job's done. Well, of course, you don't want to go through ticking lots of individual lines of time. So to help speed up this process, you'll see there are a lot of select all, unselect all boxes. So if you click select all, buttons. if you click the select all button, that picks up all of the lines of time. Unselect will, of course, unpick them up. And if you need to be a bit more specific, you'll have a select all removal per client. So we've got one there for plug, and we've got one for jack. And for every single job or every single category, because the time will be presented in a job and category basis, you'll also have a select all removal. So I'm simply going to select all, we'll bill all of this time. I'll come back into the billing pop-up in a moment, have a look at those 25 minutes being there. It's £309. What I might do is I might say, well, actually, this time here for general meetings was worthless. I'll write those off, but overall this is a £400 bill I'm sending, and as you can see there, it knows not to allocate any value to the written off lines. So the general meetings time will show as being a pretty low recovery, or indeed zero recovery for this particular bill, but the actual jobs here, the accounts and the personal tax, have taken the value of the bill. And I'm going to hit generate bill. Now, this is a kind of basic raise bill video, but what we'll do in video 2, the more kind of advanced option, is actually come back in and have a look at how you might use the advanced fee to actually recognize timing differences between when you're billing and when you are kind of taking the value for work done. So with that, I'll just click generate bill. And in order to kind of finish off this video, just as we can see here, work in progress for Plug Limited is now down to simply 25 of those 45 minutes. And if we were to hit raise bill, we'd see that there's just that single entry, 25 minutes left of 45. Okay, I'll conclude this video here and we'll go on to make the more advanced version. If you have any questions at all, as ever, please do get in touch with the support team at Glide. Thank you.